Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. Evening, mate. How you doing?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I feel weird this week. I feel like it's a really strange week where we're about to go into international break and it's season just started, but it's I don't know. It feels eerie this week, like to me, like things. I think people are trying like not to look like at their teams and stuff. People are wild carding. I almost feel like there's part of me that says like don't look at my team too much because then I probably would just press buttons.
Yeah, and I think it's probably helped me, like, having the score that I did last week, that I've just been able to go, you know what? Switch off, don't do
Oh yeah.
anything, and then you can just let this week happen, knowing full
Mm.
well that if I want to press buttons at some point, I can, and if I don't do anything, I know that next week I'm going to have three transfers, and it's going to be, and I kind of almost want to experience that as well. I kind of want to experience three
Yeah.
transfers. I've done the whole thing before with like fan team, where I've come back after like 2 months and gone, oh, I got about 12 transfers here. I can do whatever I
Mm.
like. But yeah, it's going to be really, really weird because you messaged me yesterday, I think it was, and you were like, "Have you
Yeah.
thought about wildcarding yet?" And or wildcarding next week, and I was like, "Nah, not, not,
Well, you
not,
don't need to
not
think about it, do
really."
you, right now?
Yeah,
It's
I do think though that I'm in this like weird dynamic where last in seasons past, I feel like if I'd have had this start in seasons past, I'd be on 101.1 million by now in terms of team value,
mm,
and everyone would just be flooding to the players that I have. But people are going to the players that I don't have. So like the biggest transfers in this week are like Madueke, Welbeck, and Palmer. And I'm like, well, I don't have any of those guys. People are looking at next week like
yeah.
Liverpool, and I'm like, I don't have many of those guys. It's weird.
Uh, I think that is a little bit though because of that's just reactionary to point scoring, isn't it? We will have reactionary to point scoring, and you won't have everybody that scored really well.
Hmm,
Um,
true.
and people will pick the cheapest, the cheapest there. Oh look, that guy's only 6.5, and I can have him, so it works. We One of the things about early in the game week is that it's structure, isn't it? You go from one player at that cost to the same player at that cost.
Yeah,
And I think that probably is a bit with your team because we talked about thinking you've got a very balanced squad. Yeah, which means you've got lots of players that can play, but you haven't necessarily got that exact 10 million player or that exact this pound player or this pound player. So therefore is people aren't doing that straight swap on a lot of your players.
it's very true.
Um um it's yeah, it's weird early on. Like the price rises don't seem to match up anywhere near to the drops. I mean, the drops are just ruthless. Like they're everywhere, apart from if you're well owned.
I don't know. I don't know. I always seem to think we have this period where there are just a lot of drops. There are a lot because I'm sure I'm sure we've seen it in the past, and before you know it, like half the game is point 0.1 less, and only like 20% of the game is like point 0.1 more type thing. I think
Yeah.
that does happen. I think like the weird one. I think though, and it is as you say, it's polarizing based on like point scoring. I find the Rogers one really interesting. And I think it feels easy maybe because lots of people add in Kunku, but I don't think I've seen a season where so many people have flocked to a player that hasn't scored any points yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's so weird. Like as you say, like the Madueke one makes sense, scores a hat trick. Palmer, 3 assists, makes sense.
yeah,
Welbeck scores for second week in a row, makes sense. João Pedro's up there. Wout Wout Fass is there. Like he's in that list of like top 6 or 7 players that have been transferred in this week, as is Morgan Rogers. Like he hasn't scored any points yet. And
well,
what
well
what I mean by that
Muniz
is,
has gone up. Muniz has gone up.
well, yeah, yeah, and this is it. Like I just feel maybe like there's just more. It's just a case, I guess, of more people just know. More people know what's happening. More people know what's going
Yeah,
on. More people are paying attention to fixtures, and they've maybe just watched him and gone, actually, that's okay. And I think a lot of people have just
yeah,
done that.
yeah. And there will be lots of people that wildcard. There'll be lots of people that wildcard.
Yeah,
I think the thing is after 2 weeks, you know, we had your team named as my team, my emotion, but everybody's in my team, my emotion after 2 weeks. Everyone in some form or other. And because of these abilities to roll transfers, I do think so. If I take my circumstance, my points are okay.
mm,
They're all right. I'm pretty happy. If you'd offered me this start after 2 weeks, I'd have ripped your arm off. What what I wouldn't have done is rip your arm off that I've had to use 2 transfers.
Yeah, I don't think you would have wanted to do that initially.
And it does, that really plays on your brain a lot, that you've used your transfers when you're seeing people going to be like, you're gonna have 3 transfers, and you're like, God, people that I'm behind on points and I'm 2 transfers behind on them, it feels like you can't ever make that up. And that's not true at
Yeah,
all. That's not true at all. But if I, let's say next week, I started going, right, I'm going to take a -4, -8 to get myself into a really good position, you'd feel like you utterly failed in terms of doing that. So there's definitely something where there's a stigma in my head, and I definitely want to try and take less hits this season. But there's something about, even if it feels like it's the right thing to do, I think I'll struggle with it a lot more.
yeah. Because
And that
psychologically,
would,
you're like, I should have had 3 transfers by now, and now I'm taking a -4.
yeah. And then you might then be like, right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wild card because then I haven't done a hit.
Yeah,
But it's still such a powerful point, chip in the game. I know everyone's going to say it's less valuable this season because of the, less doubles and all those things, but it feels pretty powerful when you press the big wildcard button, doesn't it?
there's always going to be an uplift, and I think actually it's become. Oh, I wouldn't say it's more powerful, but I guess the wildcard chip isn't the thing that's more powerful. It's the carrying the transfers through if you've got any, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing that's going to be like, oh, I've got a wild card. If I wild card in say 2 weeks and I haven't made any transfers, then I'll wild card at the same time as a number of other people, and I'll have 3 transfers, 4 transfers in the bank, and people will be wild carding with 1 on the other side. So even if we move into the same wild card and that wild card is wrong, and it's like we all know as a group it's wrong, it's costing you points to get there, and it's costing
Yeah.
me nothing. So
Yeah.
you're even further behind then. So it is,
Yeah.
it is really, really tough. It will be.
But we don't 100% know that until it plays out. Do you know what I
This is
mean? Like,
true.
someone might sit with a load of transfers and they'll be like, yeah, but I've got a load of points.
Yeah.
And then by the time you use them, it's like, well, it's gone.
Yeah,
Like,
this is
and
true.
there's more, like, it just feels like there's more unknown out there.
Yeah.
And this feels quite a pivotal time because of the fixtures of certain players.
Yeah. Does that mean if I have a good
Game,
season, then I get an asterisk against it because we're all learning? Is that how it works?
Absolutely not. I think it's the other way around. I think it's like a king of the world one, because you've adopted and been the pioneer for new strategy.
We are a long way away from anything like that. That's
Exactly. But there's some really big weeks. You've got obviously Palmer and Watkins fixture run changes now.
Yeah.
That's big. You've got game week 4 is going to be very interesting on Haaland versus Salah caps. Very interesting. Because I think everyone is sort of like, a lot of people have been like, well, I'm assuming I'm captaining Salah if I get him in on game week 4. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Is if Haaland gets another hat trick this weekend, then I think that narrative suddenly can change a lot. Narratives on so many players can change a lot this week and going into an international break.
yeah. I mean, even Palmer that week is all right as an option, right?
100%.
Palmer's fine as an option that week. Yeah,
There's
I think
diverse
we've just seen
options
that
on captains in the next 3-4 weeks. There really is.
Yeah, and then Saka comes into play not that week because obviously he's playing Spurs, so he's going to get 2 points. But after that, yeah, he's got City, and then which no one will cap him for, so that'll be a Salah cap week, and then City's fixtures get better, and Arsenal's get a lot better.
Yeah. Like Leicester in 6 and Southampton in 7, both at home, but also around European ties. It's gonna be.
We still don't know how that's going to play out, do we? Because we
don't know how that's going to
although
play out.
we've got the. Did we not get the Champions League fixtures today? Or did we get the groups?
5 o'clock, I think it is tonight. So yeah, it might have come out.
It might have come out. So we've missed that. Cool.
We missed it. But the fixtures are one thing, but you need to see how the managers play it. Arteta's been historically a very stubborn manager. Man City, Pep hasn't got that many other strikers. It
Mm.
is. I just think these next 3, 4, 5 weeks feel really, really, really pivotal to everyone's season. And I do think because of that, people are going to be very, very tempted to wildcard. And if it works, it's going to be unbelievable. And if it doesn't, you could be behind people that have got 5, 6 transfers in the bank and a wild card.
And a wild card, yeah.
It's big, but that's why we play the game. It's a lot of unknown, a lot of predictions. We'll all claim we're doing it right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've got a couple of screens to go through as always. So we'll go through the Rob T graphics. So thanks to Rob T for that. Hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. I hope you guys are having a good afternoon, evening. It is Thursday evening as we're recording here in the UK. And once we've done that, we'll go through the teams that we've got for the weekend, which are what they are at the moment. Not loads going on, little pieces, but not loads. And then we'll call it a day there. So I guess we'll just go straight into which one do you want first? Do you want the games or do you want like the scores and clean sheets? Which one's the one that interests you more?
Games.
Games it is. Games it is. And so, yeah, so what we've got here is the expected goals and the expected goals for each team within each matchup. And then the probability of a clean sheet data comes from SpreadX, consolidated by Rob T, and put into a lovely, lovely table for us to look at. Key takeaways from this straight away is that both Arsenal and City look to be the top teams for goals this week at 2.45. Not really a surprise there. Arsenal with the best chance of a clean sheet, obviously playing at home to Brighton. City slightly less in 38%.
Best two teams though. Best two teams for goals, best two teams for cleans.
Best two teams for goals, best two teams for cleans. So they seem like good places to have players. Basically.
Yeah.
Seems cool. Other notable ones are Liverpool above 2 away at Old Trafford, which is big. Chelsea at home 2.15 against Palace. And then Newcastle Spurs basically bang even at 1.85 each. That could be anything. That could be any scoreline, as we've said already in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then Brentford Southampton, with obviously Boomo having the home fixture. There 1.9, and you like to think that he's going to be close to it.
If you were on wildcard, so Boomo, as he's the man on the screen, would you have him?
It's so tough. It's weird because like last season, I don't want to talk about last season because it's completely different now. But last season, if I was wildcarding in game week 4, I would make the move to bring Boomo in game week 3 because guess what? I can just take him out again in game week 4. But you can't really do that. I'm not really punting now because I need that transfer is valuable beyond the chip that I'm playing. So I don't really know whether I'd bring him in. The fixtures are okay. I don't know. It's tough also because I'd like to know before the deadline whether Tony's staying or going. Because again, if Tony disappears, then I feel like you could carry him on and everything would be fine. You do okay.
We should know that. Although I don't know, is there a Saudi deadline past the Premier League deadline?
We can't sell though. You can't. Yeah, but you still can't sell, can you? Can you sell in the deadline?
Yeah,
You can sell after the deadline. You can only buy before the deadline.
I think so. I think you can still sell to Saudi. I've got a feeling you can.
I mean,
I don't know.
The fixtures are really good, right? They've got obviously they've got West Ham, Wolves, and Ipswich in the next 6 games, all at home. Would you? The thing is, if you kept him, would you bench him against City and Spurs, or would you just play him through? You'd have to find a way to bench him.
Oh God, it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't, does it? This is the thing. When you say it like that, it's like, well,
I don't know. You have to play him through.
Play him through.
Yeah, because I don't think you can cover. Well, it depends whether you felt you could cover him with Rodgers.
Yeah, which you probably can because Everton and Wolves at home. Yeah, that feels easy. Yeah, okay.
But you're then using 2 midfield spots up on Boomo and Rodgers. And, a lot of people are going to want Salah. Quite a lot of people are going to want a second Liverpool.
Yeah.
I've seen virtually no one that's wildcard and that's not got Palmer in their team.
Yeah. And then
So then
Saka's there.
and then yeah, where do you go? What do you
Eze?
do with the rest of it? But yeah, then Eze, for example, is um,
Gibbs White. Still good.
still good.
Spurs fixtures after Arsenal as well. There's just too many. I just think if I was wildcarding now, I probably wouldn't do it. I probably would just say no. I'll just leave that one.
Mm.
I did it last year when he was more prevalent. I think I'd probably take him
Yeah,
on. I'd probably take him
I,
on.
I think I probably would. I think I potentially would. As I said, the only good part about benching him is that you're in a space where Pedro and Rogers have got really good fixtures, so it's
Yeah,
not like you're going to have to. It's not going to be the end of the world.
but you also need to make sure you're either playing. If you're benching him, you need to play 3 up front, or you need to play 4 at the back.
Mm.
So how do you get to those, like, if you're not, so I guess you would do that through not going through Haaland, and you get Watkins and João Pedro and God, whoever else. Like,
Yeah, we haven't made this team, have we? We can tell in our brains. Like,
no,
can't quite work out, but it feels expensive to have Haaland, Watkins.
definitely.
Haaland,
I don't think Haaland gets it. Haaland can't be involved in this conversation, surely. If you're introducing Salah and a 10 million midfielder, you're going to want Trent from 4. So I think Haaland goes out the window here. I think if you make that team, I think Haaland goes out. It all just gets a bit messy and a bit sticky. And I mean, look, you can take that on. That's okay. I mean, if you feel like that's one you want to do, then cool. I mean, this is a season where it feels already like it's a season where things like that could happen and it could be fine, right?
Yeah, we don't know. We
don't
only
know.
got 2 weeks worth of information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're still trying to work it out.
Yeah, we're still reactive on basically what's ever just happened, and the majority of what happened in the last 10 minutes of games on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, that changes the narrative quite a lot in terms of what we've seen. So yeah, and Boomo's probably one. Again, I think I would be quite tempted to take him on. I
I find the Arsenal one interesting from an attacking perspective. So, because there's conversations about who to captain this week, and I think we can get nearer to that now. I guess captaincy is probably the most important thing we should be talking about. But like, Saka should be a legitimate captain option this week based on all of this. But do you feel? I just feel like he's definitely third best at least. At least third best in this conversation.
I think that's because of the fixtures for others, though. Like, it is when's the time when I want to captain Saka? I want to captain Saka where it's not a prime fixture for Salah, not a prime fixture for Haaland, and not a prime fixture for Palmer. Probably like if I could have all 4 in my team at one time, I think a lot of the times he would be 4th. Yeah, or not first. Do you know what I mean? Not first. It is. So if I look at,
I'm even looking at. I've already written off 6, 7, 8 then, because
I don't know, home to Leicester.
Yeah, I think maybe that's probably slightly better.
Home to Leicester versus all the other 3 are away from home. I don't like as much, albeit if Ryan Aït-Nouri is playing left back for Wolves when Salah comes to town.
Yeah.
Mind you, he had a good game against him. He actually has played well against him before. Why have I gone so dark?
I don't know. You got curtains or something like that are just moving left and right.
Oh God, I ain't got a bit dark.
Your blinds moving.
In a sec.
Oh, you'll be right.
But yeah, I think the home to Leicester sounds great. The home to Southampton when Haaland's home to Fulham and Palmer's home to Forest.
Yeah, not so great.
No, like I think there has to be some kind of perfect world for us to work through that we would do it. So I did go into this week thinking I'd quite like to captain Saka, but then as soon as I see Haaland and see how much of the ball that he's having, I'm like, don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one, that. It's definitely someone that I'm concerned about not owning for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, like I'm nervous about not having. I guess I'm kind of happy that I've got double Arsenal defense. So maybe
Yeah.
subconsciously I'm just convincing myself that that's enough to cover because I'll get 6 points on everyone who's got an Arsenal defender.
Well, what else can you do?
Exactly. Just let it ride and hopefully
That's
it
how it's
works.
gonna. We're gonna have this every single week. Like you
Mm.
can't cover all the players that you haven't got. You just haven't got them.
Yeah, Haaland's obviously a great pick. I think that's a reasonable thing to say pretty much every week this season.
Yeah, until we know otherwise,
until
it feels that way.
yeah. So away at West Ham, he'll get chances.
Hmm.
I mean, no one was worried when City played Wolves last year, so I'm not sure Kilman coming in is going to cause any real concerns from his perspective. And then the obvious one is the obvious one seems to be Palmer, right? And I'm trying in my mind to work out whether Chelsea have gelled and clicked, or whether Wolves are just fucking terrible. And I think there is a combination.
Yeah,
But it's like, how much weight do I put on it? And I guess I'm rationalizing in my head that I'd rather it be Wolves are terrible, just so that I can feel better about not having him.
yeah. If you did walk, I'm getting darker.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, mate.
If you did wild card this week, would you captain Palmer
Yeah,
over
yeah,
Haaland?
yeah, I would.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would.
That's
I'd
interesting.
take the home fixture, and I'd take the. I would. I just watching him last week. It was just so. It was like he was just straight back into what we saw from last season, just straight
Hmm.
back into that involved space where everything kind of went through him. As soon as the ball was picked up in midfield, they found Palmer, and then everyone was just moving around to make space for an opportunity for him to create a chance. Did I feel like he was going to score a brace at the weekend? No, never actually felt like he was going to score, other than,
Hmm.
obviously he does get the goal that he gets, but I never felt like he was particularly threatening from a goal perspective. But like as we spoke about on Sunday, like Eight Nori just disappeared from that left hand side, and
Yeah.
there's honestly three of the easiest like 5 yard pass assists you'll ever see. But they wanted to put everything through Palmer, so I'd be really high on Palmer if I had him this week, but I don't, so I'm scared, basically.
Effectively, Rob T does the individual graphics on this, and so expected goals for Haaland's 0.96 and 1+ goals, 62% chance 1+ goals.
Yeah, it's quite a
Like
lot.
fighting, hitting a wild card, playing a really big chip, and also not captaining the optimal captain because he's not predicted in under anything that he's going to get more points than what Haaland is this week. It's a double risk, isn't it?
Yeah,
You are, in terms of when we had our friend JC on, and he's talking about, how you introduce risk. Well, there's that's
there's a big way
some
to do it
objective
there.
risk you're moving in is that what you're doing is you're playing the wild card early and everybody else, but you're also then captaining the guy, despite the fact that you know that Haaland is expected to have a very, very good week. Um, it there is risk there. Is it a good week to captain Palmer? Yes. But do you expect Haaland to end up with a 2-pointer? No.
Yeah,
That's just playing it out in your head how you want it to happen.
yeah, agreed.
Um, everybody else, same, yeah. I mean, like I said, expecting Arsenal to not to clean if you haven't got them, that's you expecting, that's you hoping that happens.
Yeah,
Very interesting on some of the people that people obviously a lot of people have looked at selling Eze and Bruno, who've had fantastic starts really from a stats perspective, but not from a points perspective. They've got their least favourable matchup in the first couple of games. But I definitely don't like the idea of selling as a. Are you considering selling Bruno?
no, no, because I think I'm in a position where I want to roll. But spoiler alert. But
Mm.
Yeah, no, I don't think I really, really want to sell Bruno. Fixtures are good beyond game week 3 anyway, so I'm pretty comfortable. Yeah, Southampton next week, and then Palace, and then maybe make a decision in game week 6, because game week 6 might be a wild card spot for me. We'll see, and that might just be an opportunity to move off him. So we will have to see. We will have to see. But no, I'm not. Not got any concerns about it, and seeing like they're expected to have like 1.43 goal. I mean, they're at home as well. He's on penalties. It's still a good fixture. United have had, we got some crap on some comments about Liverpool's dominance over United, saying, well, actually, in the actual individual games, it's been a lot closer recently. And obviously they beat him in the FA Cup last year, and so there's a world where United win this game 2-1 and Bruno scores the first and then gets a pen in the last minute and wins it. There's that world, right? So, and again, I know that we're sort of hoping on that, and maybe I am just hoping on that, but that world exists. So, I'm quite happy to keep him for now.
But realistic, what you're really hoping for is that you have him home to Southampton when no one else does.
Yeah, away, but yes.
Away at Southampton.
Yes,
isn't it?
but yes, against Southampton. Yeah. Show me another 9-0, please.
That's what you're hoping. That's what you're hoping.
Oh, everyone's hoping. So, yeah. There was who else? Who else were we looking at? So Villa. Villa is the other one I want to talk about. Big number here, 1.9 expected goals away at Leicester. Kind of a derby, not really a derby, but it's probably as close as they're going to get outside of Wolves.
It's one of those where I like to call them a derby because the Midlands to me
is all the same.
Yeah,
I mean Leicester are more likely to call it a derby than Villa, I think. But yeah, I mean, what do you make of Watkins? Like, I want your opinion on Watkins because I really like the idea of getting Watkins.
Oh, I really like the idea. If I could, if you're asking me if I could do Isak to Watkins for free this week, would I do it this week or wait one more week? If you were asking me that, because that's more in my world and more in the common world of what people have got. Or if you've got Solanke and Watkins, for example, and you could just do that in a free move. If I had Solanke and I could go to Watkins in a free move, yeah, I'd be all over it. If I had Isak and I was looking to go to Watkins, I'd wait a week. Would be my view.
That's fair. I don't mind that.
In Villa away. Villa, Watkins, he's been off the pitch early in both games. I'd like to see what happens, in that sense. But he could have he easily could have braced Stickney against Arsenal. Two massive chances.
I mean, if he scores those, right, he's 1 million transfers in this week. Like 1 million.
1 million transfers in.
Literally Easy. 1 million transfers in. So
Isak would be 4 million transfers out and Watkins would be 4 million transfers in.
This is it.
And there'd be a load more wildcards being played if Watkins had scored those goals as well.
This is it. So how much weight are we putting on the fact that he's missed 2 chances rather than scored 2 chances?
I don't think that has any weight. I think the weight is anyone's talking about Watkins, you're like, right, there's a player that basically had a goal involvement per game last season. He's not become a rubbish player, has he?
No.
He's just getting up to speed.
Yeah. Back from the Euros, etc.
Each week he'll be more up to speed than he was the week before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's an easy move. If you're on Solanke, I don't know it's an easy move if you're on Isak. Not this week.
Yeah, I get that being a week early. I was just trying to have a quick look and see last season on the minutes thing, because like Alon and Walsh were talking about Watkins' minutes early in the season last year, and like second game of the season he gets pulled off on the 75th minute. I mean, he plays 90 in the other games, but Yeah, I'm just wondering whether it's like a follow-on from that, or well, it's a completely different season. I don't know.
Different season, different circumstance. I don't think
Yeah,
I'd read much
it's
to it.
it's yeah. It's funny because you asked me about the Bruno thing beforehand, because it's like if I was to get to Watkins, for example, I would need to sacrifice Gordon or Bruno. Like they're the options. So Gordon is home this week to Spurs, expected 1.85, and then they're away at Wolves next week. Like, and then they've got Fulham. Like, I don't feel good about selling Gordon. I don't feel good about selling Bruno. Do I feel hot enough on Watkins and Rodgers to punt in on them at the start of the fixture run? Or do I save a couple of transfers and get transfers in the bank and then see what happens and maybe miss out on a goal each, let's say, and then feel better about it? Probably that.
We're going to
Probably
phase
that.
into this every single week, mate.
Probably
because
that.
because we're all transferring out pretty good players.
Yeah.
Like and last week that Gordon and Isak played badly. Gordon played badly, and then walked away with 10 points. So
Yeah.
you could sell him this week and he could get 10 points.
Yeah. That is a problem.
And that's some of the stuff around like using sort of analytic models review, working through, what you're looking into, what is really the gain on me using this transfer this week. They might really help us. For some managers, that'll work. For others, it's probably just gut and least regret.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. What else can you do? Least regret. Like, will you, if you didn't bring Watkins in this week, and then you had an international break, and you was planning your mind, and you really wanted to do it, and you didn't do it, is it going to tilt you?
No,
And if
I
it's
don't
not,
know. I don't know. I
then
don't feel like it will. Yeah, no, I don't. I feel because I'm going to get another transfer. I think it won't. Right? I think I'll feel all right about it. I'll be able to rationalize it in that. Yeah, I think personally as well. I guess obviously just for me and everyone else that triple captained Haaland last week. I think I can live off that for another week as well. So if I have a bad week, I'm like, oh, it's okay because I triple captained last week and smashed it. So it's okay. I can deal with it this week. I can take the 1 week of pain and then work it out with my extra transfer next week. That's fine. I think I'll be okay with it because I've said that I would like to see a week where I can see what actually happens. And if I see that week where they combine and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm instead of saying I've fucked it, I've missed this. It's I've reaffirming what I thought might happen, and now I can move to it. And I think that will make me feel better about it. I think I can rationalize it that way. I feel like I'm maturing, mate. I feel like I'm maturing in this game.
I think you'll find points help all of us mature. I think you'll find there's a currency called points, and they help us all be really calm with decisions.
Really happy. This is why I've been so fucking miserable for the last 3 seasons.
They all make it easy.
What
would you do if you own Konsa this week? So just go, it's fine. Going on if you own Konsa this week. What defenders that people own a lot of would you bring Konsa in for this week? So let me rattle some off for you. Porro.
I'd hate it, but I can live with it. I probably
0. I could not do that.
I said I hate it. I hate it. I do hate it, but
I could not do that. That would make me feel disgusting. Munoz.
Yeah, I play Konsa.
Yeah, I think that's probably
no issues whatsoever.
It's probably a tipping point for it.
Robinson?
Leaf Davis. Let's say you've got Leaf Davis.
Yeah, definitely.
You play Konsa over Leaf Davis?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm not even. That's not even close in my mind.
Home to Fulham.
Yeah, but put it on the other. Put yourself on the other side of that. Who do everyone have? Right, everyone has a Robinson, a Smith Rowe, or a
so
Moniz.
You wouldn't do it because you love because you can't do hedging and you can't.
Well, there's that, but I think everyone has a piece of Fulham specifically for this fixture, so I don't think you'd play Leaf Davis. Why would you? I think you've planned that
Because
in
it's
your
a good
mind.
fixture. I think it's a good fixture.
I mean, it's all right. Yeah, I suppose it's
Anybody else? Anybody else?
It's
They're
that's
probably
why I
the
said.
main ones.
That's why I said Robinson. Would you play him over Robinson? Probably not.
Robinson's a good question.
Robinson's a good question.
No chance.
I probably wouldn't. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't understand. There's no chance I'd be playing Konsa over these guys.
I mean, so Konsa 34%, Liverpool 24. Do you play him over Trent? So stupid.
No. Oh God, no.
Like, where else do people have defense from? Like, nobody else in that bottom half. Like, Lewis Hall. How about Lewis Hall?
Yes, of course you would.
Yeah, okay.
100%. Not even close, that one.
Fair enough.
That one's not even close.
Fair enough. Just quickly before we carry on, Diraj has made a very good point in the chat that only 38 people have liked the stream and there's 238 people in here, which means 200 of you at least haven't clicked the like button. So if you do enjoy the content that we're doing, please do hit the like button. It really helps, especially at this point in the season. If you're listening on podcast, you want to give us a review, a rating, please do that. It really, really helps. Just past 8,000 subscribers. We're keeping on marching on. So hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. We do podcasts every Sunday, every Tuesday. We've got big podcasts coming up in the international break. Can I announce names? Am I allowed to? Are they locked in?
I think they're about locked in. We're trying to work it out, exact times. But yeah, go on then.
So we'll have John McKenzie from The Athletic. And then we're going to have Let's Talk Andy as well. And have we got one more? Or not yet? I think they're the two.
Not yet. Yeah.
They're the two for now. So two big pods coming up. We think we might be centering the conversation with Andy around wild cards. Talk with John will be very much around sort of a football-based tactics type podcast from what we've seen so far this season, and see if there's anything we can take from that and apply it to FPL. And we'll try and do that.
I told him we're all in FPL. We're all about OOP, and he was like, "Oh, out of possession." That's exactly what I like talking about. I was like, "No, that's not what we do. It's the opposite of what we like."
Yeah. So like, subscribe. More good pods coming. Anything else you want to add from this particular graphic? So for those listening, it's just basically the same graphic as we saw before, but it's listed from high to low on both the projected goal scored and the clean sheet odds. Nice and easy. We can see Man City are good, Arsenal are good, and the rest.
Well, the good are good.
The good are good.
That's what's coming out. That's what it's really showing.
Newsflash.
The good are good. And I guess there is a part around if you haven't got defenders from the good teams, you're only ever going to expect to see 35%. Like we're facing into this again for 4.5 keeper that Henderson. I'm like, good. Henderson's there, 12% chance of a clean.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
What's the point?
And I'm there with $1 million more spent. I got 42% chance of a clean.
Yeah, it feels stupid. It feels very stupid. But if you're on wildcard, I think everybody everyone I'm seeing
put Raya in on wildcard.
Right. Everyone is.
How do you do it though? It makes no sense.
Surely you've got to go Emi Martinez. Surely you've got to.
You just have to. Because I
can't fathom anyone
if you're
that doesn't go
wildcarding,
Emi Martinez wildcard.
Like Raya in the first half of the season seems dumb because all of their big you're wildcarding now. You don't get another wildcard until at least 19. Right, the away they're the best defense in the league. Whatever, that's fine. Their away games in the first half of the season are Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, and they've got obviously they're home to Liverpool. Second half of the season, all those games are at home. Like Spurs at home, much better fixture. City at home, much better fixture. Newcastle home, much better fixture. Chelsea at home, probably not a difficult fixture at all. So I think first wildcard going to Raya is ridiculous. Martinez.
Emi Martinez.
Martinez, definitely.
Yeah.
I would be. I almost started game week 1 with him.
Yeah.
Because it was only really that game week 2 game that was obviously going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But there we go. Should we do teams? Should we do teams? Because we're like 45 minutes in. We need to close it up.
Yeah, got them.
I'll start this week. Why not? So, no real big things going on here, to be honest.
No big things. You just pulled out a 4-5-1 and said no big things.
Yeah, go 4-5-1. Go 4-5-1. So Raya in goal, Trent, Porro, Robinson, and Gabriel at the back. Bruno, Gordon, Gibbs White, Jota, and Smith Rowe in the midfield. Haaland up front on his own. Captain Solanke, João Pedro, and Harwood Bellis on the bench. Don't really need any more than that. I mean, I guess the question is, would you play João Pedro over anyone? In your opinion?
Oh,
so right. Let me just put it here for you. I'm not doing it because I've got Raya and Gabriel, so we know that's happening.
No,
already.
no. It's not that one. It's Robinson and Porro, really, the two, aren't they? Robinson and Porro versus Pedro.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, but as I say, I'm not doing it because I've got Gabriel and Raya.
Yeah.
So no matter what you say,
it's not. No, it's not. That's not the reason you did it for. But Pedro, the two. If you were looking at which of the two players you would bring Pedro in for, it'd be Robinson or Porro. I don't know which one I would say. I don't know which one I'd say. Probably Porro is probably the closest. What will you do tomorrow if Anne says Solanke's fine?
Oh, that's I almost don't want him to be fine for that reason. What would I do?
What if he says he is?
I really don't. I might. I'd probably just swap him for Porro because I think I still get Spurs, and I still almost expect us to concede. So I still want that attacking threat. So I probably just do Porro to Solanke to Porro, and then just play 3-5-2 and go from there. I think that's the easiest thing. Again, if anyone's going to score against Arsenal, it's probably João Pedro because he's that.
Yeah.
He's that kind of
you're
player.
never playing Pedro with two Arsenal defenders,
no,
mate.
It's true.
That's never happening. So I think Solanke for Porro is probably the swap if Solanke's fine. No pictures so far this week of Solanke, so we're assuming he's not fine.
Yeah. So rolling, hopefully. And I'll have 3 transfers next week. Yeah. Solanke might drop at some point. He might never drop. We never know. We will never know. No, we will find out.
It's a marvellous position, mate.
Doing all right. Feeling good. Your team?
I have made my change. Enforced world. I have 3 million in the bank now. Still not sure what I'm going to do with it. I think the obvious move next week will be Saka to Salah, isn't it? That feels like the obvious move. But I'm not sure I'm still not 100% convinced that will be the move that I will do. I've got my number of stuff. Watkins on my mind. Trent, I feel like I worry more about the fact of no Trent than I do Salah. But I think what I will need to work out over the international break is my definite wildcard window.
Yeah.
Because that will help me. That will help me decide of how many transfers I need to make. And I might even still wildcard over in game week 4. Like it's definitely on my mind. Porro and Gabriel. Yeah, 4 and 5 is not ideal. Well, 5's okay for Porro, but certainly next week again, it's not ideal with a North London derby.
No.
But yeah, I've got Henderson. Obviously, I hate him. Henderson in goal. Obviously, he's got Leicester at home on game week 4.
And he's just lost. He's just lost competition as Johnston's gone up to. Maybe I don't think that's closed yet, is it? But his competition has gone, so at least he's nailed. He's nailed, mate.
I think they're getting Travers, aren't they, from Bournemouth?
Oh, did they bring him in? Did they?
I think they're getting Travers. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He couldn't oust Neto, so I'm not really sure. There's a real concern there.
Porro, Robinson, and Gabriel, my defence. Gordon, Saka, Rogers, Jota in midfield. Muniz, Isak, Haaland cap up top. And bench, Sangari, Johnson, Hall. All at home, but hopefully none of them need to play.
Yeah.
So I've made my move. If I needed to, like I've got 3 million. If somehow we got a leak that said Jota or Gordon weren't playing on the weekend, maybe I'd have the money for Palmer. Depends if he goes up, I suppose. but that's probably the only thing I'd maybe consider. But I'd probably just play Sangare this week.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take a hit.
Doesn't feel like it's worth it. I think if I could convince myself that Palmer was a definite he's a wide cap, but Palmer and a -4 to go against Haaland.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. It's really tough.
Fair enough. There's a super chat. So thanks to Shakalaka Mekalaka, got that first time. Who says Chiesa signing and Darwin's 5-game international ban, which means he might start game week 4. Jota's minutes still steady. Tough UCL draw as well.
I think Jota's minutes are always unsteady. I don't think they've ever been steady in their entire life, in his entire career. Like for anyone who's watched this long enough, we talk about Jota as a 60-minute or 30-minute player.
This is true.
I doubt I doubt if you looked at it, his points are particularly different whether he does 60 or 30.
That'd be an interesting thing to look back,
that
actually.
different.
It'd take a long time. If anyone wants to do that analysis, go ahead and do it.
I really don't like it is if you gave me the last, because what we're seeing is around 65 minutes or so is at least the first substitution. So he's always got a chance he's coming off, and he's always got a chance he's coming on. You know that with him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like Darwin wants to be there. So I'm not worried about Darwin at all, really, at the moment. It feels like he's the man that does not want to be there. If anything, Chiesa signing, well, surely it's Mo's minutes that are the issue. His direct replacement is Chiesa.
Yeah. He does play on the left. He's not a 9 though, is he?
He's a right-sided winger. Like, he's played literally 99% of his games in his entire career off the right. That's what he's there for.
I don't think we need to worry. I don't think there's any additional concern other than what we already know.
No. But like I say, if you were adjusting anyone's minutes, it would be Mo's. Like, that would be the person that you would adjust for Chiesa. But you don't know that until you see it. Because I think most of us thought probably the first 2 games of the season, wow, maybe Mo hasn't got that sort of stranglehold, but he's still been the last man off the field. You know what I mean, of them so far.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. You can't continue to have Mo play 90 minutes on the weekend and 90 minutes in Champions League, 90 minutes in. Then what we don't know is will Mo play 90 minutes of every Premier League game and then play 60 minutes of the Champions League games, and Chiesa takes the last of those ones? Or will it be the other way around? Will Mo come off on, say, 70 minutes of Premier League games because he's will he just come off 70 minutes
for the Champions League anyway?
None of us know any of this stuff. And we're going to kind of have to hope that we find it. But the chances that we'll find out this weekend, I would say, are very slim.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything to say who Liverpool have got actually in those games. But I guess we can pick that up and talk about that on Sunday or something.
Still guesswork, though, isn't it? But what this does bring in is an element of guesswork, as opposed to no element of guesswork.
It depends on it depends on who they're playing away, how far they've got to travel, level of opponent, etc. I think once we get the fixtures for the Champions League locked in and the rest of Europe, then we'll have a better idea, or be able to at least hypothesize when Slot and Pep and the rest of them are all going to make significant changes, or at least manage minutes, because you can see perhaps maybe in game week 6 when Liverpool have got Wolves, for example, then that might be the game where Salah has to come off because they've got to play Bayern Munich, right? Or if that Bayern Munich is actually young boys or whatever, then maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just stays at home for young boys, and he plays a 90 in the Premier League. So I think that's quite important.
Yeah.
As you say, guesswork, mate. Guesswork.
We won't that that's the big disadvantage of potentially wildcarding now. Is that you don't know. We're still in that position where we're not going to know what's gonna happen when the Champions League rolls around. It's hypothesis time. Like no one's certain on anything, is it?
No. Nope.
But there's some good fixtures.
There are great fixtures coming up. Good fixtures for Villa right now. Their run's mad. Then Liverpool's changed, and then Arsenal's in game week 6. And if you really want to have fun, then Ipswich's fixtures are good now. I'm getting shouted at in the chat saying that Liverpool playing Leipzig, Milan, PSV, and Girona away, but we don't know the dates yet. So we'll wait and see, and we can work that piece out tomorrow or another day. But for now, those are our teams. I don't think we're really going to be pressured into making any considerable moves. I don't think.
We literally said this last week, and then Solanke got injured.
So we'll wait and see what the pressers say.
We can't. Yeah, I can't afford it. I've already made a move. I can't afford to do any more. You're all right. You're sitting pretty too.
I'm chilling for now. Deadline is what we got this weekend anyway. Like deadline wise, have we got a normal week again? Have we got like
it's
tons
normal?
Of games
I think till game week 9. I think is the next time. It's not. Yeah, it's normal.
Okay, so we got Arsenal Brighton first up. So it's 11 o'clock deadline on the Saturday, and then we've got 2 1:30 games, of which neither of us are going to watch Chelsea. So if somebody wants to send us a message on Sunday afternoon about how the Chelsea game went, then give us some detailed analysis. That'd be good, because we will be watching Newcastle versus Spurs. Absolutely 100%. Anything else you want to add, mate, before I close this out?
No. Good luck. Obviously, anyone... I haven't seen anyone in the old Discord this week that's on wildcard, but if anyone is watching this, then please make sure you hit us up if you need any help. But yeah, are they all fuming that you're winning the Discord league?
We didn't actually even we didn't do that, but we'll do it on Sunday.
Well, you're top of the league and you're not going to show it. Show it now while you're top, mate.
This one here. So yeah, very quickly. So top of the public league, of which the code is MGORK2. I think we're just about to cross over 5,000 people in that league. So that's awesome. Awesome. 197 points for Heartbreak FC, which is Chris Coburn. And then, myself, top of the Discord league. I won't be claiming the Manager of the Month chip if I stay there. That will go to whoever actually wins it outside of me, if I stay there.
I think just in general, though, look, one of the other things about not panicking is everyone has played triple captainship. There's very, very rare to see us here or used some form of chip. Sam James and Gareth Geddes in the Discord have not used chips, but virtually everybody else has used some form of chip. Some of the things that cause us like extra stress and anxiety about how we're doing so far, and it is inflated by the fact of how well some are doing, and it's also inflated by those that I think I saw someone in the chat earlier who said, yeah, I'm on 185 points and I've not made any transfers, I'm not making it to game week 4, and I'm like,
thanks, mate.
No chips, no transfers. It's all worked out beautifully.
Easy peasy.
Like, okay, that's gonna be.
Isn't that what you were doing? You were sending out teams before game week 1, just saying easy game. Like all these people are just now rocking up on 185 points, just going, yeah, easy game.
Easy game.
Easy game.
Of course they would. And do you know what? If I was on 185 points and I was rolled all my transfers and wasn't making any, I'd be in every single stream. I'd be tweeting every day. I'd be doing it everywhere. It's important. Like, there's very few people that fight every single player that plays this game. Only realistically the ones that are just around a certain milestone. Like that's the other than that, we all fight like 10 million people. How the odd individual doing makes very little difference to us.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, so then just a final shout out to everyone in the chat who's joined us, over 300 today. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out and hit subscribe if you want to see more from us. And with that, we will leave you. And thanks very much for watching. Cheers, mate.
Have a good week.